are now in tune with ESP Speaks. What's good, Soulsters? Why don't you get your watch party, get your share buttons out, share the feed, and be entertained. I'm yours truly, D Mecca, the Soul Conductor, from Good Morning Soul on www.she'sthebossradio.com. But in the meantime, in between time, we're getting ourselves ready for our lovely hostess, ESP Speaks. So you got a little time to get everything together. Enjoy the grooves. Once again, I'm your DJ host, D Mecca, the Soul Conductor. And I'd like to introduce today's host with the most. So sit back, relax. Prepare yourself. Right here, right now. The one, the only, ESP Speaks.
Good evening and welcome to ESP Speaks. And soon we're going to be changing that name. I'm so glad to see you again. What a heck of a week it's been. And we're in the holidays now. So rather than do the traditional Christmas show and sing carols and talk about Old Lang Syne, I'm going to do something phenomenal with some phenomenal women. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be speaking to women who have made a change in their lives and the lives of others. First, to begin with, I want to bring on an extremely special guest. Well, both of my guests are special tonight, but an extremely special guest because this woman has been a part of my life for the last 41 years. Jackie, chime yourself in while I keep talking. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4 chicks that you always see on my show that I run as commercials. Jaxology, one of my dearest friends. Please join me in welcoming Jax. Hey, girl.
Hey, ESP. It is so good to be here with you. Thank you for having me. Oh
Oh
my
my God.
gosh.
Are you playing music on your way in? You chiming in with music? Oh, goodness. You know what? I'm so glad. Everybody's been asking for you. I'm so glad that you could come and visit tonight. And here's some exciting news, everybody. I'm like busting at the seams. Because as I said, this woman has been with me for 41 years. Girl, you know I'm going to cry in a minute. Yeah, I cried the drop of a pin. They know that.
Don't you start.
41 years. The most phenomenal presence. As a young woman, she was phenomenal. As a middle aged woman, we are phenomenal. And I am so happy to announce that Jax is going to be a part of ESP Speaks. So as you see, my new logos at the top say ESP and Jax. So Jax is going to be my co-host henceforth. So I'm excited about that. We're so glad to have you, baby girl.
I am too. I thank you for like inviting me into your world. And I, well, not like I haven't been there for 40 something years, but
Hello.
you're dating us. You're dating us, but I'm very
Well,
happy
you
to
know what?
be.
No. See, that's part of the phenomenality. Did I just make up a word? The phenomenality? Because as teenagers, we ran. Ran trouble. We made trouble. We sang. We took over the industry. We did backup recordings. We were a force to be reckoned with. And from day one, Jackie, from day one, we were partners in crime. So how
Partners,
could
that's
I do
right.
this without you?
Oh, you could, but I'm glad you decided to have me with you. You can do anything.
Well,
You
I'm just
can do.
glad you said yes.
Yes, I'm glad you asked. But yeah, it's a pleasure to take on this journey with you because everybody knows that 2020 has not been the best. And in fact, it's probably been one of the worst years of my life. But I think with that, it's going to help me start having some more of the best years of my life. So
Yes.
2020, as bad as you were, you actually had to happen. So, you know.
You know, it's funny. I thought it was a pivotal year because it gave me, you know, all of the stuff that I've been going through for years with the taking care of the parents and the taking care of the sick people and raising the kids and the marriage is good and then the marriage is bad and it's a lot of stuff. And in 2020, it forced me to stop, look at who I am, and reconstruct for me in order to move forward. So, 2020 was actually a kind of outside of COVID. 2020 was actually a pretty good year for me.
I'm glad you could say that, though. Really, I
And I
am.
got you
It's
back on screen, which is
well,
great.
you know personally what it has been for me, and why I would even call anything the worst year of my life. And I'm just going to go ahead and share that I lost my mother this year.
Yeah.
So for me, everything has changed, and although it's a sad thing that has happened, and sad is not even descriptive enough, but through my mother always taught me through these things, this is part of our journey, this is what helps you become stronger, this is what helps you move forward in life. And so she's here with me, my dad is here with me
Right.
too, but I think losing them actually made me stop and pause and reevaluate and see what I need to do to continue to.
Amazing. And we don't understand why and what the lessons are, but you, I know, will be intuitive enough to absorb and learn and move forward. And I'm so sorry for the loss of mom and dad and all of the things that we've been going through and you and your family have been going through this year. But you know what? You're one of the strongest women I know, and we'll make it through. And the partners in crime are back together, so I got your back, boo. you know. So this week, I had put out in the polls that we asked, we asked the regular question. The question was, before COVID hit, were you living the life that you intended to have? And your three choices as the audience were, I'm living the dream, baby. That was A. Or B, I've been a little off track for quite some time now, but I'm working things out. Or C, you're a train wreck. Does that sound familiar? So in all of those answers, we allowed our audience to pick. And here are some of the responses that they gave us.
You've got voicemail.
Hi, this is ESP with this week's poll question. Before we were hit with COVID-19, were you living a life of purpose, living the life that you intended? Do tell. Or was it A, living the dream, baby? B, I've been a little off track for a while now, but we're making it work. C, it was a train wreck. If any of those sound familiar, please give us a choice, leave us a little comment, and remember to watch us at 6 p.m. every Saturday night on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or Instagram, and we're on several different platforms for your future needs. Thanks so much for watching us. Have a great day.
You've got voicemail.
Hey, this is Lawrence, and referring to the poll question. Definitely a C. Most definitely a C. If we could do this entire year all over again, as a matter of fact, if we could do the last 4 years over again, and yeah, definitely a C. Man. Oof. Yeah, hit the C button, please. Reset, restart, relax, relate, release, all that. Oh my God. Let 2021 be a better year. Yeah, definitely. And thank you, ESP, for keeping us in tune. We love you. Be good.
You've got voicemail.
I just wanted to let you know that I enjoy so much listening to ESP Speak. And I'm answering for the question of the week. My letter is B. I've been off track a little bit, but while you make it work, you do what you gotta do when you gotta do it. I love you, and even more than you possibly know. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.
You've got voicemail.
Hey, ESP. Just wanted to give you a little shout out. I'm telling you, you're doing a pretty good job with your broadcast. I wanted to talk about the last post. It's about am I where I'm supposed to be at this time of life? I'm making it do what it do to the best of my ability. Every day is not a bad day. Every day is a good day. Some days are just better than others. But, hey, it is what it is. It do what it do. Listen, keep up the good work. And God bless.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome back to ESP. My name is Jax, and I want to give it back right now to ESP. We are here today talking about phenomenal women, and I know she has a special guest coming right now. Who are we going to talk to next?
And Karen George with me today. But before I bring her on, I want to let our audience know that you are watching us on Facebook Live, and you're also watching ESP Speaks and Jax on YouTube, and also Periscope Live. But if you can't sit with us for the whole broadcast, you can catch us on Anchor, Breaker, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Twitch, Stitch, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and we're now on YouTube Live. Don't forget to ring the bell, click to subscribe, and leave us a comment and let us know how we're doing, so you can tell us, about new shows that you want to see or any great ideas that you have. So now that we brought you up to speed on all of that, I would like to introduce you to one of our most phenomenal women, Karen George. Karen, you out there? Hey, you. How are you doing?
All right. How you ladies doing?
We're fabulous.
Good to see you.
Fabulous.
Good to see you too.
So, Karen, you were a little surprised when I said you're one of my phenomenal picks of women.
Yes.
But, see, you think you just, an everyday lady. There's
just
nothing,
one of the ladies.
Yeah, no, there's nothing everyday about you, and you're not just anything, because, audience, wait until I tell you. Okay, first of all, she's a BSN, and I'm going to let her explain what all of these letters mean. She's a BSN, and she's an RN, which you're very familiar with. She was an EMT. She's a firefighter. She's a wife. She's a mom. Good Lord. How do you fit that all into one day? But tell us all about these initials first. We're going to start with the initials. Tell us what those mean.
Well, EMT is an emergency medical technician and firefighter. RN, registered nurse, and BSN is Bachelor's in Science of Nursing, and one of the ladies.
Mm-hmm. One of the ladies that puts on a 50 to 80 pound air tank, climbs upstairs and picks up bodies are 150 pounds, and still finds time to put on a uniform and go into a doctor's office. So hold on. Let's just go back a little bit. Let's ask you the question of the week. Are you living the life that you intended to live? Are all of these things what you wanted to do, or you just couldn't pick and you just did all of them?
Well, it's a combination of both. I always wanted to be a nurse. Always. I remember as a child, one of my Christmas presents was one of those Fisher-Price doctor's bags with the stethoscope and things like that. And I told my mom, I said, "Mommy, I want to be a nurse." And she says, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I want to be a nurse." And that's something I've always aspired to be. And I have two older brothers, so you want to be one of the brothers. I wanted to always be with them. So we played with the fire trucks and Tonka trucks and everything. And I just wanted to do what my brothers did, not realizing as I got older, I wanted to drive trucks. And then I saw the fire department in the area where I live. And I said, "Oh, let me see what I can do over there." And I joined because I wanted to keep up my skills as a medical assistant. I was a medical assistant at that time, still trying to get into a nursing school. And I started at the fire department, not realizing that it was a volunteer facility. And after I got in there, I just started to really get excited. And then I found out it was all volunteer. And it all goes uphill from there.
Uphill in what way?
The excitement. Like I said, I joined because I wanted to keep my skills up while I'm looking for a school that I can get into. And when I first started, they said that I would have to go through the Firefighter 1 Academy just to get the basic skills in case as an EMT, I respond to a fire and they need assistance. I should be able to handle the basics of firefighting. And I started in the fire academy, and it was thrilling. And I went through the whole fire academy with the rest of the guys, and I finished, and then I did the EMT afterwards. And I loved it. I loved
Be-
it.
because your nursing degree actually puts you higher than a paramedic. So it's just all
Absolutely.
interesting. That's a very smart thing for the ladies who are watching that are kind of waiting in the wings for their schooling to come into play. That's really brilliant, the fact that you went into a volunteer situation to keep your skills honed in while
Yeah.
you waited for the school situation to come into play. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So
I
let
just
me
can't
ask you this.
sit.
You
I
another
can't
one. You
sit
never
and wait for something to happen. I just want to be involved. And I just said, let me do something back for the community and get something out of it at the same time.
Yeah, you never could sit still.
Yeah.
But that's great. So here's another question for you, because this always befuddled me with you in a good way. How did you find time to do all of this and raise a family? Because you have children.
Yes.
Not one, not two. You've got kids, a lot.
Yeah. Got 3.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to tell the audience how many.
I've got kids.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
But
And a
by the
husband.
grace of God, I got through it all.
So you're taking care of a husband, you're taking care of a family, you're taking care of a home. You're
Yes.
a firefighter, you're running a job, you're in a doctor's office. You are truly a phenomenal woman.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, in saying that, tell our audience, tell the girl or the woman who is starting over or just can't find her way right now and doesn't feel that she has the strength to continue on. Give her that piece of advice that you feel is going to make a pertinent difference for her.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you hear my words of affirmation playing in the background.
Okay. Well, that's poignant. Was that for the
That's for my girls. That's for my girls,
Oh.
so that while they're doing things around in the house, they hear these words of affirmation to let them know they are more than what society tells them that they are.
Well,
They're
that's
more than what they
awesome.
see on TV. They're more than what they see their friends doing, that they can accomplish everything that they set themselves up for. That's another reason why I push myself to do the things that I do and to get to the level where I am now. And I'm not done. I still want to level up and keep going to show my daughters that you can do it. That being
What's
said,
next?
yeah,
You want to level up. What's next? We're excited.
I'm studying for my board certification. And it's just going one step higher. Anytime I see an opportunity, that's what I want to do. That's just me. I know, coming from a West Indian background, the education is key. Education is key, and seeing positive faces in your community, positive faces in society is important to me. That's another reason why I really enjoyed being at the fire department, because the fire doesn't care if I'm a man or I'm a woman. But when I get off that truck and I come out from a fire and I take my hood off, and you see people just, wow, that's a girl. And you see these young women who otherwise would not see some type of positive influence in front of them. That does something for me. That lets them see that I don't care if it's a man or a woman, you can do it. So that's why I'm always trying to better myself. Every day I say, okay, how can I be better than I was yesterday? What am I showing my daughters? What am I showing my daughters' friends? When they come here and they see, okay, well, that's Zioda's mom, that's Kilana's mom. I'm more than that, just their mom. I'm your mom as well. And if I expect it for my daughter, I expect it for you.
That's phenomenal. So, my goodness, we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to be coming back with Karen George and Jaxology in a moment. Stay with us. This is ESP Speaks. We'll be back in a minute. Nice, Karen. Jack.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Make a wish. I know she ain't about. Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness.
Please don't do that.
That's not right.
No bueno.
No cake for me.
Yikes.
Fanta cake is the cool new sanitary way to blow out the candles on your cake.
Make a wish.
I love my Fanta cake.
Fanta cake rock.
I want some cake.
That's cool.
Get yours today at fantacake.com.
All right, I want to welcome you guys back to ESP Speaks and Jax. And we've been speaking with Karen George. I'm tired listening to her and everything she does, but there's some more that I want to find out about. Number one, my dad used to drive truck, and that was one thing that I always wanted to do. What was it that pushed you in? I know you said that you had you're raised with a lot of brothers, and so you wanted to be one of the boys, but what was it about driving truck that piqued your interest?
The sound of the engine and knowing that the power was in my hands. It was phenomenal. The first time I drove a large truck, my brother was driving a flatbed truck. He works, he's an iron worker, and he was working for some company. Came home one afternoon. He said, "You want to take the truck for a ride?" Really? I don't know how to drive trucks. He said, "I'm going to teach you." I drove that flatbed truck around South Ozone Park like I owned it. And it was fabulous. Loved it.
So when you say flatbed, that was the 18-wheeler, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can show you a Marvin right now.
18-wheeler.
Who's Marvin?
Wait, you
Yes.
know what?
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Because that is no easy feat. Another thing
No.
you touched on, you said that you like to play your affirmations for your children as they're around the house doing things. I think that is so important nowadays, especially with the way that social media,
Yes.
I'm not assuming the ages of your children, but I would assume that social media is something that they grew up with, unlike we did.
Yes.
And it gives you a completely different view on life and what you're seeing. So my question would be, do you allow your kids to be on social media right now? And if so, at what age did you think that it was appropriate, or is it something that you still haven't allowed yet?
Well, my 23-year-old, she had a Facebook account in her senior year of high school. So I kind of kept her at bay with that. My 17-year-old, she's not allowed to have Facebook. She does have an Instagram, but I monitor it. My 8-year-old, the most that she can do with social media is watch YouTube videos of her Barbie dolls or what have you. So I try to limit the social media because it sheds a negative view on women and women of color. Body image is something very important to me. Loving yourself and your hair, the texture of our hair is important. And I just want my girls to love who they are and love whose they are. That's pretty much it.
That's
I
pretty
like that. Who they
amazing.
are. Yes, who they
And
are.
you know what,
who-
Jax and Karen, I see the flow, but I really need to chime in here because what you just said was so very important. And there's a poignant question I want to pose to both of you. Given the fact that something happened in the news within the last 48 hours that affects us as Black women, as women across the board, but as Black women. A year and a half ago, I believe it was 2019, February 2019. I don't know if you've seen these reports where out of Chicago, a woman named Annette Young, I think is the way you pronounce her name. There was a raid on her apartment, not unlike the Breonna Taylor incidents where somebody barged into their apartment. 12 police officers barged into her apartment, and she had just gotten home from work. She's a social worker. She was standing there undressed, buck naked in her own apartment, and 12 Chicago police officers banged down her door to arrest a drug dealer, and she was telling them that they have the wrong apartment. Meanwhile, next door was where they were supposed to have gone, and the felon that they were looking for was sitting there with an ankle bracelet on that had they pursued the arrest correctly, they would have seen that. But this black woman standing buck naked in her own apartment was handcuffed by 12 white men, not a female in the whole bunch. She was left to stand there for nearly 20 minutes. The police camera is on, photographing her buck naked, and one officer decided to pick up a half a coat that didn't even cover her own body and threw over her back so her front was fully exposed while this woman was screaming in fearful for her life.
Police officers raiding the wrong home and handcuffing an innocent woman. It was first reported by Dave Savini of our CBS Chicago station WBBM and contains graphic video that the city did not want anyone to see.
I had just gotten home from work, and while I was undressing,
Anjanette Young, a social worker, had just finished her shift at the hospital when 12 Chicago police officers raided her home.
and it happened so fast, I didn't have time to put on clothes.
She was completely naked, surrounded by all male officers.
And I'm just standing there. I mean, terrified, humiliated.
Young was handcuffed as the officers searched her home.
If I had made one wrong move, I felt like they would have shot me.
One police officer wraps a short coat around her shoulder, still leaving her front fully exposed. Young tells the raid team at least 43 times they are in the wrong place. WBBM's investigation uncovered police got it wrong because they took the word of an informant who said a felon with a handgun lived in the apartment.
Nobody lives here but me. Okay. Okay, you don't have to shout. I don't have to shout. This is ridiculous.
So where was the target? Our investigation revealed he was awaiting trial on home confinement here at a different apartment in Anjanette Young's complex. How easy would it have been to locate him? Easy. Real easy, because he was wearing a police tracking device. Police did eventually walk Young to a room so she could get dressed. It took more than 20 minutes for the officers to say this.
We believe your story.
Nearly 2 years after the ordeal, Young says she still hasn't been told if any of the officers involved have been disciplined.
They need to do the work, but they need to do it right.
Now, the City Law Department went to court to try to block our station from airing this video, but that judge ruled against them. Now, tonight, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot publicly apologized to Ms. Young and said she was appalled at what she saw and is recommending that the city settle that case. Ms. Young says what she wants is accountability, Nora.
Incredibly appalling. Dave Savini, thank you very much.
So for you to be talking with us about affirmations on how our young women, how our daughters need to see ourselves is so important, because we are still being treated like garbage in this community.
As less
So
than, yeah.
Less than. We have to have some sort of strength in ourselves. And I just thought that that was so poignant in the timing of it all. But I wanted to mention this whole thing in the beginning, and thank you for the opportunity for finding the right fit for that piece of information there. But let's talk about, how do you guys feel about that? Because again, it's the Breonna Taylor situation all over again.
All over again. It is.
And this was February. This is 2020, December. This happened February 2019, and we're only now hearing about it because they wanted to cover it up. So it's still not worth anything to them.
No.
Exactly. I mean, when you look back at Breonna Taylor, say her name, and the way they went with this warrant that, they didn't even have the right information. I saw another story recently where they went with a warrant where they didn't execute the warrant soon enough, and by the time they got there, a new family had moved into the house, but yet and still they had to go through the trauma of that. And when I saw this woman standing there, and no one out of these officers, not one until a minute or so later, decided to cover this woman up, showed that they didn't even care about any kind of shame or any kind of trauma that she may have suffered. And like you said, Esther, the person they were looking for had a police tracker on. How do you get that information wrong?
But honey, why do you need to handcuff me? Even when I'm fully dressed, I have nowhere to hide stuff. Why do you need to handcuff a naked woman?
Fear.
Okay.
Fear.
All right.
And the idea of they're better than.
Or we're less than.
Yeah.
And we now, because of everything that's happening in our society, they want us to educate them on how they should treat us. Listen, ladies, all right. We touched on it. I promised that I was going to touch on it. I needed to touch on it. Thank you so much for your input. I want to get back to this phenomenal lady here, speaking with another phenomenal lady that I'm going to have with me, Karen George. Karen, is there anything that you want to tell our listeners? Because once again, I had mentioned to you, there are women out there who would love to aspire to do what you've done. Is there anything you could say to that young woman who has a dream of becoming any of those things, or wants to be a nurse or a firefighter, or just needs a kind word to tell her, hang on, hold in there, it'll be all right? What would you say to that young lady?
Yeah, hang on in there. No is a bad word. No is something that you can either accept or you can kick out of your way. I refuse to take no. Yes, there's things that's going to get into our way, but if you want it, you're going to fight for it. I've had a lot of doors close in my face and life gets in the way. It took me so long to get to where I am, but it's something that I wanted to do. I find that a lot of our people are afraid of taking out a student loan or sacrificing a little bit more. And I tell my daughters, your friends are going to be there when you're finished with school. Take out that student loan. And I use Barack Obama as an example. When he became a senator, he just finished paying off his student loans. Take that student loan, take that step, take that leap of faith, trust in God, put him before everything, take that student loan and go back to school. You can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, having a baby, postpartum depression, taking care of my grandmother, taking care of my mother, working full-time, going to school full-time, and having a family, still being a firefighter and EMT, trust me, by the grace of God, you can do it. No one can stop you. No one. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Karen George, you are phenomenal. And thank you for sharing with us
and
ladies. Our audience this evening.
You.
It's been a pleasure. You're remarkable. We give you all your props and help you straighten that crown, sis. We love you. Thanks for hanging with us. And family, we will be right back after this message.
Yo, what's good, my chick?
Hey,
what's happening? What's up? What's
going
on?
on?
What you up to?
Skirt. Yeah, I got fabulous news.
What is it now?
Y'all remember my date from Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Remember?
Did you have fun?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
I
just
did.
last week. Whatever. Anyway, this dude was tight and right, but better yet, he's a producer. He's about to take yours truly on world tour. Wait, what? Really? Huh? Yeah, what? Really? Huh? I said I'm going on world tour.
Zoe, are you sure?
I am so sure.
Girl, who am I to be mad?
Yes, who are you to be mad? Anyway, I'm gonna get all the perks,
Well,
all
the
the
only
yellow
thing to say
M&Ms.
is-
Yes,
say
yes.
what?
You have no say in this, none.
Hit the road,
Zoe, what?
and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no
That's
more.
how
Hit
y'all
the
treat
road,
your
Zoe,
chick.
and don't you come back no more.
I see you and
What
you
y'all
and
say?
you.
Hit the road, Zoe, and don't you come back no more,
Say
no
whatever,
more, no
whatever
more,
you
no more.
want to
Hit the road,
say.
Zoe,
Zoe
and don't you
is
come
on
back
her
no
way.
more.
All right. Now y'all know this usually takes 1, 2, 3, 4, but Zoe's about to go on world tour.
I guess if you say so,
you'll
have to pack your bags and go.
I'm ghost.
Hit the road, Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you come back
I
no
won't-
more, no more,
I
no
won't
more,
be
no
back
more.
here
Hit the
again.
road, Zoe.
I'm
Don't you come back
I'm
no
gone.
more.
I've got
Don't
my
you
bags
come back no more.
I'm not
Don't you
coming
come back no more.
No, wait. You
What?
gotta come back because we
Why?
got season 4 to do.
She sure
Because
does.
Season
That's
4,
right.
y'all better
Zoe,
1, 2,
wait,
3
we can't
figure it out because Zoe,
Zoe,
come on,
Zoe,
we
we
gotta
Zoe.
Oh Lord,
God.
what we gonna do?
I don't know, but she ain't gonna mess up my
I guess
check.
we'll
Okay.
just have to wait and see what happens. Wow.
Welcome back to ESP Speaks and Jax. And I just want to say that last guest was amazing. Both of the guests were amazing. And we need to hear all of the positivity that we can right now, especially when it is coming from women of color. So I'm going to throw it back to you, ESP. What you got coming up?
And we're going to wait till next week to introduce her properly, Jax. So, but you know what? We had a great time tonight. We did have a great time with these two guests, and I always have a great time with you. It's just wonderful to have you back, and I'm so excited and looking forward to all of the wonderful shows that we have planned. But we got to go because we're pushing time. But you coming back to hang with me next week, Jax?
I'm coming back to hang with you. Absolutely. I thank you for having me so much. I really do. It's been fun.
Yeah, baby.
It's so amazing to me. Thank you. So you really made my entire year. But before we get sappy again, and once again, we did have a great show. Let me get us out of here. So you guys, thank you. Thanks for keeping our numbers up. Please go to YouTube, click subscribe, leave us a comment on the Facebook page, leave us a comment on IG. Let us know your feelings. Let us know if you're feeling the commercials. Let us know if there's something that you want us to do, because we're here for you. This is not an I fest or a Jackie fest. This is a you fest. So having said that, you know what I'm going to say. With all the craziness that's going on, you stay positive and test negative. We'll see you next time on ESP Speaks and Jax!
All right.